Hello, my name's Jenny and I'm in the lawn and garden department here at Gluten's, and today we're going to talk about crabgrass and different ways you can prevent it and control it. We are approaching the time now that we're going to be laying our pre-emergents, and we're getting a lot of questions, so we thought it would be helpful to share some of this information with you. We're going to start with showing you crabgrass. We have large, also known as hairy crabgrass, as well as small or smooth crabgrass. A couple things I want to tell you about crabgrass is that so it'll have a main stem, right, or culm, and from there it'll shoot out all these tillers. One plant can have 150 to 700 tillers and also produce up to 150,000 seeds. One plant, 150,000 seeds, and so that is why controlling it with pre-emergent and not allowing it to germinate is the best way to control crabgrass. There are post-emergent options, but you really want to get it on the pre-emergent. There is no biological control for crabgrass, and mechanical control, like manually pulling it, can be very cumbersome and time consuming, and as well as mowing height. Mowing, while it can be effective for some weed control, for crabgrass, it doesn't. It can still produce seeds mowed at a height of 1/2 inch, which we all know is not a good mowing height. You want to be more at that 3 inch. So mowing's not going to mechanically control it. So if we go into germination of crabgrass and applying the pre-emergents, it is all based on soil temperature. For those of you that seed, you know how important soil temperature is for that germination of your plant. And we have a wonderful resource we use here at Gluten's. It is called the GDD Tracker. It is from Michigan State University, and it has this beautiful map here where you can enter in your zip code right there. You'll see us in Inver Grove Heights. And you go over to the side and you can select what you're doing. Now, professional turfgrass managers use this as well. So some of this stuff might not make sense, but you can go on the About page to learn more. And then you scroll down here and it'll show you timing, early, optimum, late, and kind of where we are at that. So you'll see today that Black Star, we're almost in the optimum time to lay our crabgrass pre-emergent. There's also this awesome function where you can flash back to 2021, and last year this date we were already up here in the late area, so we're a little later laying our pre-emergent this year. Crabgrass germinates when the soil temperature is at about 55 degrees, and that's what this is tracking, air temperature and a couple other things. But if you want to test your own soil at home, you can just use a soil thermometer like this one. Otherwise, we have another dial thermometer over here. You can use any meat thermometer. These are about $7. And you put in your soil and you want to leave it for 3 to 5 minutes. And the reason you might want to do that is this is a gauge based on our area, but every yard has microclimates, right? We have different types of soil. Different types of soil warm up differently. So a clay soil holds more moisture. If you have just a wet area besides a very moist lawn, that's going to warm up a lot slower. So when we look at this optimal time in your own yard, you might be a week later. That being said, crabgrass, you'd rather be early because the pre-emergent is going to break down as the soil temp warms. That's sometimes you'll see contractors laying a little earlier than we suggest, and that's fine. It'll break down. So let's get into some of our pre-emergents. We have, this is our JRK crabgrass, and the active ingredient in that is dithiopyr. And dithiopyr is a really good pre-emergent because it also has post-emergent qualities. That dithiopyr will control crabgrass up to the first tillering stage, so that's still pretty soon after it germinates. So you really still want to be early and get on it from a pre-emergent standpoint. A natural solution is corn gluten, and that's also a pre-emergent. There's no post-emergent. It has some fertilizing qualities. It has a 9 analysis of nitrogen there. And that you're going to be applying at a higher rate, 20 pounds per 1,000 square feet. If you have a large population or you had an issue last year, I would really suggest going with a synthetic to get it under control. And then as you get it under control, then you could go to a more natural solution. This is going to only last about 30 days, and crabgrass can germinate and will continue to germinate throughout until late summer. And then it will die in the fall. Now you might say, well then why, if it's an annual grass and it germinates seeds and dies in the same year, why do I get it the next year? And that's because those 150,000 seeds one plant can create stay viable in the soil. So by making sure that you take care of it and not let it go to seed, you're really going to get good control of it. Now if a lot of people like to plant grass seed in the spring, and crabgrass, any kind of pre-emergent, is also going to prevent grass seed from emerging. It's going to prevent that germination. There is a product that has an active ingredient called Mesatrione that will allow you to seed, and it will prevent the germination of crabgrass, but only for 6 weeks, and it does not kill any weeds that are currently there. So that is one option. Another option is to seed and then use a post-emergent on your crabgrass. You can also leave a buffer zone. You know, if there's only a certain area that you need to seed, you could lay something like this that has 90-day control that's going to get you through the crabgrass season, and just leave a buffer zone. We say like 10 feet, just so that it doesn't affect the germination of your grass seed. Now, if you miss the window or all of a sudden the seeds come from somewhere and you notice crabgrass in your lawn, we have a lot of different post-emergents, which means they're actively growing plants. We have Q4 is a really good product. Quinclorac is the active ingredient in these. And this you can reseed, I want to say it's 7 days after application, 14 days for bluegrass. So our cool season grasses are fescue, ryegrass, and bluegrass. So we'll just go with 14 days after, but always refer to the label. But this is something that you could apply, treat what's there, and then seed. And then we have some ready to spray ones, also with Quinclorac. This is a post-emergent. It also controls a lot of other weeds. It's going to control broadleaf and grassy weeds. And are ready to use if you just want to spot treat. And you're going to see Quinclorac is also in there. Another very popular and extremely effective herbicide for crabgrass is Mesatrione. Now this little bottle looks funny, and it comes with a small measuring syringe, but this lasts a long time. It takes very little, mixed in a lot of water, and this is something that you can apply at seeding, before or at seeding. So that is good information on crabgrass to get you started this spring. We're a few days away from applying your pre-emergent, and if you have any questions, come into Gerton's Lawn and Garden. We have an awesome crew that knows their stuff, and we love to help our customers.